Jon Favreau of Swingers fame dropped the Book of Boba Fett recently, and it is now wrapped after 7 episodes. Fans are eager to find out if there will be a second season, although it doesn't seem likely at the moment. One more likely scenario is that the character pops up in The Mandalorian, so watch out for that. Stay tuned, as today we're talking about Easter eggs and secrets fans totally missed in the Book of Boba Fett. Let's jump right in with a tribute to Star Wars legends. If, like we are assuming most fans of the Book of Boba Fett have, you watched the 1983 classic Return of the Jedi, you've probably spent some time wondering how our title character escaped the Sarlacc pit, right? As we know from the comic Jawas of Doom, he escaped using the jetpack, and does so again in the 1996 comic A Barv Like That, by tricking the beast into launching the weapon on his behalf after communicating with another victim telepathically. In the first season of the Book of Boba Fett, we see our bounty hunter escape the Sarlacc from the inside by clawing his way through the deep sandy pit. As he emerges, he is caked with sticky Sarlacc goo and sand, which is an obvious nod to how he gets out of the situation in the 1996 comic. What did you think of the Sarlacc escape scene? Next up, it's the droid cameos. Stay tuned. Whilst maybe not the droids you're used to, nor the ones you're particularly looking for, the ones that appear in the Book of Boba Fett are pretty familiar anyway. 8D8 and R3X both make an appearance in the series, and whilst the former 8D8 hasn't been seen since the Return of the Jedi, when it was deployed as a humanoid-like droid torturer, the droid's role is changed significantly in Boba Fett and is now a kind of butler who helps greet well-wishers coming to pay tribute to the new crime lord of Tatooine. It also makes a brief mention of tortured screams of the Gamorrean guards, which is a nod to our old friend Jabba. The guards are almost certainly the same ones who served Jabba in Return of the Jedi. R3X, on the other hand, has given up his role at the Galaxy's Edge at Disney World and Disneyland, and is now seen as a dealer at the Mos Espa Casino in the Book of Boba Fett. Both our droid friends have seen quite the career change in the most recent addition to the Star Wars universe. The wreckage of Jabba's sailing barge is up now. Stick around to hear all about it. In the scene where Boba Fett emerges from the Sarlacc pit in the recent season of the Book of Boba Fett, there is a very brief glimpse of Jabba the Hutt's iconic barge. In Return of the Jedi, we see Boba Fett knocked into the Sarlacc pit accidentally by Han, as the crew are attempting to flee Jabba. It's at this point in the movie, when Jabba is finally defeated by Leia, when the katana is destroyed. The vessel obviously no longer had a captain after the demise of Jabba the Hutt, so it was left to ruin in the sands above the pit of Carkoon. And it's here that we can see the remains of the ship in the new series, as Boba Fett is clawing his way to the surface after escaping the Sarlacc pit. The katana has surely been picked clean at this point, as we see happen to Boba at the hands of some overzealous Jawas in the opening episode, and we get an even better view of Jabba's old ship in episode 4, when the fire spray flies across the maw of the Sarlacc. What did you make of this nod to Jabba's old barge? Let us know below. A nod to Jabba's death now. As we just mentioned, and as anyone who hasn't been living under a rock for the past 40 or so years will know, in Return of the Jedi, Princess Leia disposes of Jabba the Hutt by strangling him with her chains, which is a pretty gnarly death, truth be told. And in the Book of Boba Fett, we see Boba himself pull off an eerily similar move when he's digging for shells looking for water with his Rodian friend. The Rodian awakens a scaly beast, who then proceeds to attack the pair, as well as the Tusken Raider they're with. The creature kills the Rodian before turning his attention to Boba Fett himself, who uses what he has on hand, which just so happens to be a set of chains and shackles, to defend himself and ultimately kill the Goro-like creature. This is an obvious nod to Leia, and after he's gotten rid of the beast, he stands atop of it, triumphantly staring at the Tusken Raider, demanding respect from all quarters. We loved this death scene. What did you think of it? We thought it was a nice touch to link back to Leia like that. Next up, we're talking Max Rebo and the Bith musician. Stay tuned. One of the things the Book of Boba Fett got resoundingly right was bringing back 2 of the galaxy's most well-known musicians. We, like everyone else, assumed we had seen the last of Max Rebo after he was last seen on Jabba's aforementioned barge, but thankfully not. In the Mos Espa Casino, we see the blue-skinned, elephant-esque creature busting out tunes alongside Figrin D'an. In A New Hope, we see the Bith musician play Cantina Band in Mos Eisley, but in the Book of Boba Fett, we see Figrin D'an team up with Max Rebo to belt out a funky remix to the Star Wars theme Cantina Band, which is pretty great, we must admit. Were you expecting to see these guys pop up in Boba Fett? We're discussing Robert Rodriguez cameo now. Don't go anywhere. One thing you don't see all that often is TV show runners popping up in their shows, but if you stick around for the credits of the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett, you will see Robert Rodriguez make a little cameo. Rodriguez, who also serves as executive producer on the show, appears in the cameo as Doc Strassi, who is the leader of the Trandoshan. Strassi has worked under the leadership of Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine, but the exchange in which we see him gift Boba a Wookiee pelt is all a little awkward. Boba Fett has worked for the Trandoshan during his career as a bounty hunter, tracking down the galaxy's naughtiest guys and gals, but now, seemingly, the roles are reversed, with Doc Strassi serving him. As the pair part company, Rodriguez, as Doc Strassi, gives Boba Fett a sort of backhanded warning, disguised as a compliment, when he tells him, "May you never leave Mos Espa." Boba Fett also picks up on the sinister aspect of the parting shot, telling Fennec Shand that his goodbye sounded like a threat. What did you make of Doc Strassi's creepy encounter with Boba Fett? Give us your thoughts below. Tosh Station and Luke's buddies are up next. Stay with us. During a particular episode of the Book of Boba Fett, we see our title character deliver a pretty awesome beatdown to the local biker gang. During this scene, we see a couple of humans cowering in the corner. The man and woman in the scene are never named in the credits, but we're almost certain these people are none other than Cammy and Fixer, Luke's friends. We also believe the place this exchange goes down is more than likely Tosh Station. We can see a very brief shot at the door of the little cantina, which we think matches up to a deleted scene of the Tosh Station from the very first Star Wars way back in 1977. We know, because we're Star Wars nerds, that Cammy and Fixer were a similar age to Luke, and often were found hanging out at Tosh Station. And we love that the director of Boba Fett has included such an obscure nod to the original movie, even one that didn't even make it into the original film. And finally, we're talking about the appearance of Black Krrsantan. Stay tuned. In the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett, we see Wookiee gladiator Black Krrsantan make his live-action debut. The bounty hunter appeared back in 2015's Darth Vader series and is an unparalleled fan favorite across the series. Also known as Santi, BK, and Black K, the gladiator was trained as a fighter by the Santi brothers, before eventually forging his career as a bounty hunter. Black Krrsantan has worked for Jabba and has also formerly worked alongside our titular hero, Boba Fett. Fans were delighted to see the vicious fighter turn up in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's more than likely the new boss of Mos Espa knows exactly what they're getting by bringing BK back into the fold. As always, thanks for tuning in today, and remember to stop by next time when we'll be discussing all sorts of other bits and pieces. Also, why not do us a favor and share today's video with any friends of the whole Star Wars universe you know of. Bye guys!